Thank you. Let me now bring in retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. He is the senior director of the Center on Cyber and Technology Innovation at the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies. Admiral, so, let me pick up where Robert left off there. The fact that Trump is weighing the idea of having Zelenskyy join the meeting now, good idea or bad idea in terms of getting closer to peace?
Well, look, I think it's a good idea if it allows the alternative view to be expressed. I am worried that the president is going to get with President Putin and once again hear kind of a one-way discussion of the battlefield and what the intentions of Russia are, and finds himself once again kind of, as he has it after many of his phone calls, agreeing with how President Putin characterizes things. And I'm particularly worried about how the president's negotiator, Steve Witkoff, has left things with President Putin. So I think the introduction of Zelenskyy wouldn't be bad. I will say in general, there's real opportunity here in Alaska, and the president could take advantage of it.
And tell me more about Alaska and that location. Is there significance there?
Well, who knows? Maybe as part of Greater Russia, eventually Putin would like Alaska back. As you know, we purchased it from him in the after the Civil War. But in reality, what Alaska is that the president wants to be known as the global peace president, the one who, using peace through strength, goes out and negotiates the end of crises, whether it was India, Pakistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Cambodia, Thailand. But this is much different. This is a much bigger issue, a much harder issue, and he's facing off against a near-peer adversary in Putin, who considers himself a strong man.
As we were heading into the weekend, Trump stated that some territorial swapping is going to have to take place to close a deal and for the betterment of both countries. Is Putin going to be content to end the war on this kind of real estate deal alone, if you will?
So it's hard to say. First of all, the fact that the president would even entertain that without talking with Ukraine and understanding what Ukraine's position on that is risky. But I think you're right. On top of that, Putin is going to want some kind of weakened Ukraine, a Ukraine that's either demilitarized or has no defense industrial base. And so these things are really unacceptable to Ukraine, who believe that in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years after a deal, Putin's going to be back knocking on the door and attacking again, much like he did from 2014 to 2022. What
would the ideal deal, if you will, end up looking like in the end? A way to make both sides happy, agree, okay, we'll sign, seal, and deliver this to reach peace, but not reward Russia for what it's done the past few years?
So I think first, the ideal thing coming out of Alaska is that President Trump turns to Putin and says, before we do anything else, knock off your offensive operations, no more missile attacks, and cease combat operations. And then it begins to bring the sanctions that he's threatened immediately to kind of pressure that. And then the long-term deal you get is one where there's probably a ceasefire line along a line of contact where, Russia still has 20% or so of Ukraine, but Ukraine doesn't acknowledge it long-term and is going to wait out Putin and this kind of autocratic regime, but also one that allows both countries to maintain their military capabilities in case one attacks the other. And I think we really know which country's the aggressor, in this case, Russia.
And moving forward, what if none of that works and none of it sticks and Putin says, thanks, but no thanks. I'm winning this war. I'm going to keep on waging it. What should our position be? How long do we stay involved? How much more do we spend on this?
Well, I think we do three things, none of which require us to spend anything. Number one, we sanction the fossil fuels of Russia even greater. In other words, get it. India, China, and Turkey, three countries buying these fossil fuels and fueling the Russian war machine. Two, we allow Europe to buy offensive weapons from the United States. They're called ATACMS missiles. Buy them right from our, from our stores. And we want to get rid of them. We're going to a new weapon, and the Europeans can buy those new weapons for us. So it's win-win. And then third, continue to allow the Europeans to buy Patriot missiles, something that's already happening. But if he pushes on all three of those lines of effort, President Trump will put President Putin in a corner.